Hello nerdy birdies, this is Kaylee from Just Nerdy Birdie Things, and today I am here with a rant. You might notice I'm wearing the same sweater as I did in my last video. It's because I'm filming videos back to back while I have a little bit of free time because I have to go away this weekend. So yeah, today's video is going to be a little bit kind of a ramble in the brambles, but more of a rant. And it's more just me venting my frustration as a fan of Jason Todd. So if you read DC Comics and you're a fan of Jason Todd, like, stick around and, I don't know, listen to me rant, I guess, and then let me know your thoughts, but I'm just gonna dive right into it. So currently Jason is involved in the current run of Hush. Now I realize I'm making this video a little bit in haste because the storyline isn't finished yet, so I very well, like, I could come back and make a follow-up to this video being like, okay, this didn't go in the direction I thought it was going to, so I'm making a preemptive rant, I guess. I'll come back and address it if I'm wrong, but from the first issue of this storyline that Jason is in, which was the last issue, it's frustrating that we once again find Jason in this cycle with Bruce. So the big frustration for me as a fan of Jason Todd is that Jason Todd as a character, Red Hood as a character, has so much potential in DC Comics. And it feels as though writers just want to keep him in this endless back and forth cycle with Batman and the Bat family. He'll be allies with them, and then he'll be against them, and then he'll be allies with them, and then he'll be against them. And it's just, at this point, it's not only frustrating, it's boring. It's getting really boring that it feels like we make progress with Jason's relation, like, talking specifically about his relationship with Bruce for a minute. It feels, it's getting old that we can't break them out of this cycle when there are so many good ways that we could break them out of the cycle. Something has to be done to break this status quo between Jason and Bruce. That just, I don't know if it's just that DC won't commit to it. I don't know if they just can't find a writer who's willing to do it. But we need to do something, come on. But as I say, it's annoying because there have been times, so take Batman Urban Legends for example, where it feels like we've made progress between Bruce and Jason. Like, Jason's given up the weapons and, you know, he's trying, and then all of a sudden he's back to, and then all of a sudden he's back to hating Bruce again, and it's boring at this point. It's like, okay, you have to commit to some kind of character development for this man here. The other thing is Jason and the Joker. At this point, DC needs to get Jason over the Joker. I really don't think that Jason can move forward as a productive character or even an enjoyable character if we don't push him out of, he needs to get over the Joker. Like, I'm just gonna say it as I see it. He needs to get over the Joker. Like, I don't know if that's therapy. I don't know if that's an Arkham Knight-esque, you know, grand plan to destroy Gotham. I don't know, but we need to move Jason past the Joker at this point. And not in the Robin Lives kind of way either. But that's a rant for another time. I don't know. Like I say, I'm ranting, so I'm talking off the cuff, but it's irritating because it's a loop. It seems like, okay, he's over the Joker, and then he's back onto wanting to kill the Joker, and then he seems to move on from it, and then he's back to it. It's like, we need to make up our minds here. I think really, I don't know, I don't really want to see Jason become a villain, because I think he's at his best when he's an anti-hero. But you need to whatever direction you want to take him in, you need to commit him to being, you need to commit to taking him in that direction, if that makes sense. If you want him to be a villain, commit to him being a villain. If you want to commit to him being a hero, make him a hero. If you want to commit to him being an anti-hero, take him out of Gotham and put him on his own. Like, hell, have him dotting from city to city to city like you did with Nightwing for a while. Have him go on this journey to find himself, you know? Honestly, I kind of agree with the people, with like the opinions online I've seen that say they want him to team up with John Constantine and use the All Blades again. Honestly, I'd love to see that, because as much as people kind of complain about Red Hood and the Outlaws, Jason fighting the Untitled and using the All Blades is one of the best uses of his character for a very long time. So, because it didn't have anything to do with his relationship with Batman, it didn't have anything to do with the Joker, it was a cool thing just about him. Even in the sense of putting him like in opposition of eventually it puts him in opposition of the League and against like Talia, who resurrected him, you know? Like, it was interesting. I also think we need to stop giving Jason love interests, because again, for some reason we can't commit to him having a love interest, and it's fine. He doesn't need to have a love interest, and I'm not saying that as like as a fangirl or anything. It's just whenever I watch him go through love interests, I don't feel like there's ever any chemistry. I don't ship them, but the most chemistry he has is with Roy. And even then, their chemistry is questionable at times. So it's just kind of, and I'll also say this, that's not me coming for anybody's ship with Jason. I'm just saying from my perspective as a comic book reader, like within the pure space of the comics, I don't feel like he really has any romantic chemistry with anyone they've ever tried to put him with. I don't think he has romantic chemistry with Artemis. I don't think he has romantic chemistry with Corey, even though he himself states that he and Corey are just excuse me, are just friends. But, you know, I think Artemis is the worst. I think Artemis and probably Rose are the worst for me. I don't get romantic vibes from his relationship with either of them, if that makes sense. So that's something else that's a little frustrating, is the fact that it feels like, oh, everyone else has got a love interest. Jason needs to have one too. And it's just, he can just not be interested. That's completely fine. He doesn't need to have a romantic interest. Like, he can just have friends. That's okay. You know? But yeah, it's just, I think what Jason really needs is just consistency in his character again. That's probably my biggest thing, is he needs to be a consistent character, and he hasn't been a consistent character for a long time now. I'll admit in that I'm guilty of the fact that I will read anything that has him in it, and I think the reason that I'm guilty of that is because I want him to be written well. I want to find examples where he is written well, and there are examples where he is written well, and the problem is they're just then overshadowed by the next writer coming along and just completely annihilating any steps forward we may have taken. And I feel like that's where this Hush 2 thing is gonna go. Now I also understand from the point of view of like talking about the Hush storyline, it's a lot of the stuff we are reading in regards to Jason is from Bruce's point of view. It's not necessarily objective, it's his thoughts. But the problem with framing it that way is we don't get any evidence of, and again, I've reminded myself of a point I wanted to make. This is another kind of issue with Jason that kind of annoys me, is we are constantly being told things about Jason and then not shown them. So I think in Hush it's talking about like cognitive damage, but you can't just say that and then not show evidence of it in his behavior. It's like Jason going after the Joker makes sense. Now, I can't speak too much again about Jason working with Hush because that hasn't completely played itself out yet. So I will reserve my judgment until the storyline is finished and we kind of know entirely where it's going, or you know, it's reached its natural conclusion. But yeah, I'm gonna call it there, I think, otherwise I'll keep going on and on and on. But mostly my frustrations with Jason as a character is that he's not consistent. He needs to not have a love interest. Give him back magic, because that would just bring his whole Robin gives me magic thing, bring it just full circle, and get him over the Joker and make his relationship with the Bat family consistent. Here's the thing, I don't think he has to get along with all of the Bat family. Have him only have contact with like one or maybe two of them and go from there, but start it and move it consistently. Don't just flip-flop back and forth in this endless cycle of bullcrap, you know, that keeps him a stagnant character. Like, just give him to a writer who wants to develop him into something, and then let them develop him into whatever it is they want to develop him into. Alright? But yeah, so what are your thoughts on Jason Todd, Red Hood's current character in DC Comics? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked this video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. Honestly, it's all the same to me. Subscribe if you're interested in seeing more videos from me, and become a nerdy birdie. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends. Bye.